Hey beauties, it's Riri. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Today is a full face of Melt Cosmetics. I recently did a Melt Cosmetics mystery box unboxing, and I asked if you guys wanted to see a look with all of those goodies. So that is what today's video is. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of my videos. First up, I'm going to prep my lids with my Alter Ego eyeshadow base, as I always do. I did pay for this and I have repurchased them. They did send me one in PR with a palette a long time ago, and I loved it so much that it became my favorite of all time, and I have since repurchased and repurchased. It is incredible. It's really, really nice. Specifically, I feel like for somebody like me, if you have, more mature skin, drier lids, crepey lids, things like that, it's great. So just putting that out there. First up, we're gonna go into the little pink little mini stack here. This is called the Petite Stack in the Ultra Pinks. As much as I wanted to do the greens, I am wearing pink today, and I always do green. And you guys, in the comments and stuff like that, the consensus was that you guys just wanted to see one of the stacks. You didn't really care. So the preface is that it is in a cute little stack. This, I do believe, is like biodegradable and stuff like that. And then we have 5 different shades. We have a pastel-y pink. We have a beautiful kind of mid-tone shimmer pink shade. We have a beautiful, I would call this kind of more of a rosy pink. And then a deeper version of that. And then an even more deep version. This one kind of, to me, leans a little bit more berry. So I'm gonna try to make sure I use all 5. Let me quickly swatch them for you. I did mention in my unboxing these being a little bit smaller than I had anticipated. I don't mind that as long as they perform and I can get my brush in. It's not a big deal to me. I will say on very first impression they feel a little dry, the mattes. But of course, it's how they perform on the lids and how long they last on my lids. That for me is the most important thing. And there's the last shade. I do like this idea though. You guys know I've been on this kind of like less is more. I want to have as few products as possible when I'm building a face. I've been using my makeup forever, little case, subtle beauty, things like that. So this is definitely something that for me in this kind of time frame that I'm in my life, like just ease of use and summertime and it being hot, y'all. It's perfect for me. I will say though, like I said, they feel a little dry, and already just putting my finger in there, I did get quite a bit of kick up. There is a little tiny bit of staining, but I'm only wiping it on a towel. Going in with a fluffy brush to start. Today I'm going to work light to dark. You could also work dark to light. Yeah, as I'm touching, there's a lot. And I don't generally mind that. This is a lot though. It's kind of an aggressive amount. And of course I'm doing my eyes first, specifically if I don't, know or I'm not super familiar with a formula and stuff like that. The first time specifically that I use it, I'll go in, no brows, no nothing. And I generally do my eyes first, but more specifically if it is a formula that I'm not super familiar with. I do have some of their other actual palettes, and I have always found that their mattes are incredibly pigmented, but sorry about that, hubby called. But I do find that even though they're very, very pigmented, which, of course, long wearability and stuff like that's important to me, having a level of pigment is important to me, but I have found just from previous experience that they can be a little bit harder to work with. I don't personally feel like, and I haven't tried these, this could be a different formula, I don't personally think that they're super beginner friendly, and or you just have to kind of go into it knowing that you're going to put a little bit more effort into it, a little bit more elbow grease, if you will. And that doesn't bother me. Like I said, as long as they stay on my lids, my main thing is I don't want to sit here even for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit for any period of time and do an eye look, do my makeup, and then it's off of my eyes in 5 seconds. That, I do not like that at all. I'm staying in this exact same brush. I think I'm just going to kind of follow and just go, from lightest to darkest. And as I get darker, I'm going to come slightly lower. I will note too that if you ever have issues with blending, or you find that, a shade is kind of sticking a little bit, you can go in with a firmer, more kind of scratchy brush, if you will, and that will aid in blending as well. You can also, I speak to this a lot, you could go in with that shimmer shade first, put it kind of all over the mobile lid, then go on top with your mattes. And having that little bit of a shimmer, having that like mica on the lid is gonna aid in better blending as well. So you can see pigmented, but I am really having to kind of get in here and blend. And you will notice that the placement of my hand will change on my brush. The further down on the brush, the more pigment you're going to be able to get and place, and the more control you're going to have over it. If I'm holding my brush way out here, I'm going to get a lesser, you know, kind of diffused version of the shadow. So working beautifully, but they are, I think, the same type of formula that I'm used to, where I do feel like they kind of stick in place until you do manipulate them and kind of get them where you want them. And I will definitely leave a comment, as I always do, and let you guys know how they wore. If they wear beautifully and they're on my lids for 8-10 hours, I'll still take it and I'm fine with it. And excuse me, I do have a little bit of something going on. I think it's just allergies, just from being outdoors and stuff like that. So excuse my energy levels and excuse my voice. So far so good. Again, a little bit of elbow grease. I don't mind it though. Going into the next deepest shade, picking up just a little bit. I'm in this exact same brush, you guys. And I only want this one on the outer portion. I do feel like everything is pretty true to pan, which I also enjoy and appreciate. And I just want a little bit of this out here on this outer corner. This one versus the other two mattes that I've used thus far, it's almost so hard in here that nothing's really coming on. I mean, I can see it here, but it seems harder pressed than what those do. And almost like not quite as pigmented, which is a little bit strange. Let me switch brushes. I'm gonna go into a bit more of a fluffy type brush, but still kind of pinched. There we go, that's a little bit better. And that's the thing too, you know, during your makeup application, it is okay to switch brushes. You know, maybe you need to start over, maybe you need a different base, whatever the case may be. I generally use the same bases for every single, you know, like eyeshadow application, because then if something is not working for me, I already know like, hey, it's not my base because it's the one that I use every single time. And then from there I can kind of, you know, finesse things. I can switch brushes, like I said, things like that. All right, switching brushes was the move. I'm really loving the look so far though, like really beautiful. I'm getting a really good blend. I feel like I'm getting slightly muddy-ish right in there. So I'm gonna take that brush again. Let me dip back in the soft pink. And again, I'm fine doing that. I'm fine going in layers, layering and building, layering and building. I'm going to save that last shade for the lower lash line. I am going to go in with my Gourmande Girls Glitter Primer. It is my favorite of all time. I did purchase this myself, but I do have an affiliated code with her and I do receive PR. My code, if you are ever interested, is RIRI10. I do have a code also with Alter Ego that is RIRI10. Both are affiliated, and that means I do earn a small commission. So thank you if you do use them. I'm going to give that just a second. And then we're gonna go in with the shimmer, and it definitely has like a little bit of like a beautiful reflect. I'm kind of seeing like a yellowy greeny in here. Oh, that's pretty. I think I'm gonna love this. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Ooh, that is pretty. This will be really stunning with like an orangey look as well, even with a green look. It's got such a beautiful shift to it. And it is a more kind of thicker, like more opaque type of a formula, which sometimes those can seem a little crumbly on me personally because I have dry skin. This is not doing that. It's very, very smooth, very high shine. I can see all the pretty little flecks in there. Oh yes, that is beautiful. Ooh, all right, let me do some brows because we need them, and some base. I'll BRB. All right, here are what the eyes are looking like. Brows are on, and I just finished up my LYS Beauty foundation stick. It is completely empty. I'm so excited, and I did already repurchase it. I love it that much. I'll definitely link it for y'all. And then my brows, you guys have been asking me all the time because I've kind of changed how I do my brows. I've been using the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Kit in Ash Brown. I only use this one right here. but that is what I use every single time now when I do my brows. And then I take my NYX brow pen through the front. So that is what is on the face thus far. I think I'm going to finish up the face and then I'll finish up the eyes, I think is the route I want to go. Next up is the Cream Blush Light in the shade Honey Thief. This was a recommendation a long time ago from my beautiful friend Deb, and when I saw this on sale at Sephora, she had been raving about it, and I was like, yep, okay, I need that. What I love about this is it has this beautiful cream to like powder formula. It feels like silk. If you're familiar with like the Fenty Beauty, like the suede cheeks, the way that these dry down is the way that that feels. They're stunning, you guys. I'm gonna go in with an angled brush, pick up just a little bit, and they're way more pigmented than you anticipate them being, so I'm gonna share and put this on both sides. As you can see, a tiny bit goes a long way. I'm gonna tap that off on my towel. And the way that these blend out, oh my gosh, they're beautiful. If you guys are familiar, you guys know that I love cream product, but if something does not have a dry down, if it stays kind of gloopy or tacky or sticky, you know, feels oily or greasy or anything like that on the skin, I am gonna absolutely hate it. This blends out like an absolute dream. It has that beautiful kind of soft matte touch finish that I was talking about, and it sets down. It stays in place. It gives a beautiful, soft, kind of blurred effect to the skin. And literally by the time I get it in place, it's set. I don't generally need powder. If you wanted to set this, you could, but this does have a beautiful dry down. It's lovely, you guys. And then it lasts a lifetime on the skin as well. And it's just beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Next up, I'm gonna go in with the Santa Barbara Ultra Matte Powder Bronzer. Now this is called an Ultra Matte, but it has, especially on the skin, it has the tiniest little bit of just like a diffusion glow, if you will. This is also quite pigmented, so I'm going in with a less is more approach. I always like to start kind of up here toward my hairline, and I just meet the blush and leave it alone. I like to kind of visually see that transition from like my bronzer shade into my blush shade, so that's why I do that. Also, if I'm kind of testing a new bronzer or a contour or something like that, if I kind of start here higher up and kind of more back and towards my hairline, when you see me from the front, you don't really see it, and or if my hair is down, you also don't really see it. So if I've had a little bit of a boo-boo, maybe it's too deep, too rich, too warm, whatever the case may be, we don't really see that. But this is the same thing, very soft and diffused on the skin, blends out incredibly well, and buildable, which is my favorite type of formula. I can go in with a less is more approach, and then I can really amplify it as I get more tan in the summer months. All right, now I'll go in and finish up the lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with a smudger style brush and go in with this last shade. I'm gonna pick up quite a bit, but tap off my brush because I obviously don't want fallout all over my cheeks. And I'm putting this on the lower lash line. And I like to start first by stamping it in place, especially because I am trying to avoid fallout. And then from there, I'll slowly smudge just slightly down some. Alright, eyes are fully done. With the mascara, I've used this in the past. I got this, and this from Sephora when they were like 50% off. So I've already gone through a full one of these. If you like Better Than Sex or those types of formulas, those types of wands, this is quite similar. It's got a more kind of thicker whipped texture to it, which I prefer. I like a drier mascara. I also like the length. I also like the level of volume and lift that I get with this. Fantastic. I am going to test out this brush per y'all's request before this fully dries. I had never heard of a mascara brush. If I don't like it for this, I think I'm going to use it as like an under, lash line type of thing, or use it for up here for like smudging. But supposedly you're supposed to take it like this and coat this, I guess, after you do your mascara, and it's just supposed to aid in, I guess, lift, giving you more volume, things like that. I am really nervous about products like this. I have very poor eyesight. I keep a big mirror down here for filming purposes. So yeah, I don't know how often I would use this for this. I don't really see a whole lot of difference. Maybe it's giving me a little bit more lift. I mean, I like the concept of it. I don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of it for its actual intended use, if that makes sense. But you guys did want to see it, so I did just want to kind of showcase, what it is supposed to be used for. Like I said though, I will most likely clean this, and then I will use it to like kind of get right here in the lower lash line, or the, near the lash line, or for the lower lash line. But I did want to demo it very quickly for you guys. And then we're going to finish up with lips. This probably is not going to match, but it's about demoing the products for you guys. This is the Perfectionist Lip Ultra Precision Pencil in the shade Toast. I've actually been using this already and I really love it. It has good glide, it's creamy, but also has that little bit of kind of firmness to it, meaning that it has a great hold. And it's been very, very hot here. I've worn it a couple times already. It is incredibly long lasting too. So I like that. And it kind of has that old school smell. If you know, you know, just that wooden pencil. It's just nostalgic, you guys. And then last but not least is the Love Note, the Ultra Matte Lipstick. I like the packaging. I just like kind of the clean, crisp aesthetic. And it is a beautiful soft nude. Oh, much creamier than I anticipated. A lot of times nude automatically just means suck the life out of your lips. Oh, I love that color. I would probably go in and just like blot it out a little bit and put a little tiny bit of gloss, just because I do have drier skin. But it feels quite comfortable. I love the shade of it. I love this together, like the lips together. And it is matte. It's quite opaque, but I don't feel like it's like sucking the life out of my lips. So overall, a freaking win. Of course, some of these I already knew and loved. My only thing with this is the fact that, yeah, it's pigmented. They blended well, but they take you a minute to get them blended out well. Like, they're so pigmented that they can kind of stick in place a little bit. Again, that does not bother me. I do not mind a little bit of extra effort or elbow grease to get a look as stunning as this. That does not bother me at all. The lip liner, like I said, I've been testing off camera. It is bulletproof. It lasts a really long time. It has that perfect mid-ground of being creamy, but not so creamy that it gunks up and breaks, but then not so firm that it's like tugging and pulling on my skin. Love this. And really surprisingly liking this. You guys know I don't do matte a whole lot anymore, which is wild, because like 6 years ago, Riri, I owned every liquid lipstick, I owned every matte liquid lipstick color you could ever possibly imagine. Not now. The mascara, I already knew how I felt. The brush, maybe if I kind of finagled it a little bit, like I definitely see where they're going and I see the purpose here. I'll test it again on my own where I can get super close to my mirror and just kind of see. If not, we'll use it in another fashion. That's the beauty about makeup and the brushes and all the things. Use them how you want, y'all. And then of course the blush light and the bronzer, I already know and love, have had these for a while. Yeah, overall, a win. I would like to know what you guys thought. Drop your comments down below. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you did enjoy. You can hype this video. You can tap the bell so you never miss any videos, and there's a join button down below you can click to become a channel member for some exclusive perks. I love you all. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. And of course, be your own best beautiful. Bye, beauties.